I never spoke about it until a certain time in my life. It was open that there are people who say that the Holocaust never happened. Somebody can come and tell me I had no parents or I had no siblings. What do they want to do? Do they want to repeat it? So I figured the only way to counter that is to tell the story of what really happened. People can't imagine what was going on in these years, in these camps, where the Nazis tried to eradicate people that they thought don't deserve to live. This is the kingdom of Auschwitz. The commandant had authority to do with the prisoners what he wanted. Every day was a day you had to struggle between life and death. And it was said the only way to get out of here is through smoke in the chimneys.
The hardest thing was going into Treblinka. There was nothing there, it was just land. It kind of left it up to me to kind of use my imagination and only like imagine what kind of pain and what kind of sorrow and like sadness was here.
870,000 people were murdered here, 42 survived. Who were they? Some people who were on the trains and jumped off the train just before they got to the camp. By the time you get to October of 1943, Treblinka has on the whole done its job. How did the Sonderkommando know that the job had been done? Transport slowed down.
When we were in the museum in Lublin yesterday, they had told the story of the little boy that they had a big picture of him on the wall. I just broke down. I mean, it just was like, that could be my grandson. And, you know, I read Ordinary Men and just the brutality of that story. It's just, I just can't wrap my brain around like how people could be that cruel.
I never had any passports or any identity papers. I was a nobody.
One of the things that my father has always wished for, if there is some written remembrance of his life before the war, his school records, his sister's school records, his childhood records of all the siblings, and they have found them and put them together for him.
When he was presented with that book and his grades and the comments about him and the pictures, it was such a beautiful thing to see. It was almost as if the color was put into those black, dark days.
I felt so emotional, I tell you, it's unspeakable.
Experience is the best teacher. So for me as a human being, sure, I've read about the Holocaust. I've taught the Holocaust. I thought I had some kind of an understanding of the Holocaust, but until you walk into one of those barracks, you don't know what it was like. Until you look at all of the shoes that we saw, all you think about is, well, there are a million shoes, but until a million shoes are in front of you, you don't really understand that big number. And that's one of the things of the Holocaust. You throw around these huge numbers, and it almost minimizes. But when you really stop and try to conceptualize till it's in front of you, you really don't understand it.
Really eye-opening. I mean, obviously, I think every educator has at some point studied the Holocaust, taught the Holocaust, discussed with their students and, students within your school hate and what that is and what it looks like. But I don't think until I came here and participated in it in this way that I really understood what it was.
It wasn't until I was here that I realized he was right. I wasn't teaching the Holocaust right. That it's not a sterile experience of numbers and letters and reading a novel and having a discussion with my students. It was people. And people with real loss. And I think now that I have this improved understanding and this transformative experience, I now can truly go back, and I'm excited to take it back to my students.
It's an immersion experience, and there's no other way to get it. You can read and you can study, but you are immersed in this period of history. And it's really important to look at this piece of history in this present context, in this world as it is now, which is so full of ethnic division. It's heartbreaking.
It's fear of the other. It's fear of people who you don't know. It's fear of people who you don't understand. And what do people do when they're fearful? They lash out and they act irrationally. And I think a lot of it comes from that. And I do believe that on some level, hate is hate is hate, and it's the same.
If we notice the daily discriminations, they can turn into something much more serious.
Understanding and tolerance and how to combat hate and understand hate when you see it.
What strikes me the most is ordinary people who would have gone through their whole lives and perhaps never mistreated anybody, suddenly feel it's okay to shoot and kill and beat and strip people of their humanity every single day.
How can you not go to these types of terrible places and not come back with some other thought of how you're going to make a difference? The Holocaust been occurring ever since. Have we not learned the lesson?